Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tyrannical House of Comedy. I am Tyrant. Today, this week has been a sad week. Representative George Santos was expelled from Congress. And I personally have been in mourning about this. Some people think that he deserved to go because he lied about how he got into office, lied to get into office. He said he was Jewish, and then they're like, "Well, you're not Jewish." He said, "No, no, I mean I'm Jewish," which is such a classic joke. And I everything he does after that, I appreciate because of it. It's almost yeah, it's because of that why I love the rest of George Santos. And I don't think we should have expelled Representative George Santos because honestly, what did he do that all the other Congress people aren't doing already? You know what I mean? He gets indicted on because of felony charges, including alleged aggravated identity theft, wire fraud, and conspiracy. But like, I guarantee you, every one of the Congress people has fucking fake passports and all types of shit hidden in a safe somewhere with a whole bunch of cash. Senator Bob Mendez got gold bars from fucking Egypt, and he's still serving. No one kicked him off. He's facing felony charges. Why is Representative George Santos? Why? Because he's a strong gay man who also likes tits and spent $400,000 of voter donations on OnlyFans. And I think that's also pretty fucking awesome, because it's like the most. I think that the thing that was probably worth it the most that our government has spent money on in the past 5 years, 10 years, 20 maybe. Really, the most worthwhile thing you could spend money on rather than foreign fucking wars. You know what's better than foreign wars? Whores. I'm not a huge fan of whores. Everyone knows that. I like a good trad con woman. I want a trad con wife one day that I can tell to get back in the kitchen, and she smiles when I say it because that's the type of stuff she loves. Speaking of which, if you're a woman trying to get into being like an influencer and stuff, it's you can't do the whore route anymore. The whore route, no one likes it. Okay, no one likes the whore route. No one likes the hoary. Ooh, look at me. Oh, my titties. Oh, my nipples kind of partly out. Yeah, people see that, but it's those are the only people who comment are the creeps and the incels. What you got to do if you really want to get the good attention is you have to become a trad con influencer. If you're a female, if you're an actual female, and so what you do is you become a traditional conservative influencer, and like the whole time you're just like, you know what, the 19th Amendment, it was wrong. We should repeal it. Women are the reason why this country's falling apart. You see how much they vote for Democrats? I'll give up my right to vote. I'll give up my right to vote just so these dumb liberal bitches, it's like I'm saying it's like why women wonder why, they've been fucking oppressed for all of humanity besides the last 50 years. And then you look at what they've done with their beautiful rights. And that's what you have to say. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's what you have to say as a trad con influencer. And if you're a ginger with freckles, you're winning right off the bat. You just like no, that's actually someone on Twitter who is cool. But this is not about her. I'm just saying that for me that seems like the easiest route because whores are out, tradcon women are in. All right, fucking find God, get baptized, join Twitter, fucking post stuff about libertarian influencers and how Ron Paul was right, and you're gonna be good. But George Santos, he's not any of that. He's a man who decided to run in a district where it wasn't possible for him to win. It was so impossible that Democrats didn't do any opposition research on him. And so he got elected by by his county, like the majority of people who voted, because probably majority of people didn't vote. You know what I mean? And but the majority of people voted for him and wanted him. And then they find out all the stuff, and some people wanted him to quit, but we don't know. We could have, I mean, you didn't do another election. Instead, you just kicked him out, subverting the will of the people, which is not right. And I am sure there are plenty of people who donated money to his campaign that are more than happy that he spent a lot of money on mainly messages too. So he's really just talking to them. He really just can. I mean, can't you liberals understand loneliness? Maybe he's just lonely. He's a misunderstood con man who just wanted to serve his people as a Republican congressman for the federal government, and I think we should have let him. Nancy Pelosi made $400 million insider trading on the stock market with because of her position in the as Speaker of the House. And I mean, Dan Crenshaw, let's do both sides because it's Democrats and Republicans. They both do it. Dan Crenshaw was one of the highest fucking earners in 2022 on the stock market, as far as I think it was like second or third behind Pelosi. So it's like they all do it. Eye Patch Adams is no better than Nancy Stretch Pelosi. You know what I mean? I mean, they're all none of them are shining beacons of people we should follow. And so why not keep it entertaining and vote George Santos? It's the Fetterman effect. People voted a dude for with brain damage over Dr. Oz because people were tired. No one watches his TV show anymore. I don't even know if it's still on the air, but no one's like watching reruns of it. People were watching reruns of like Fresh Prince. If Will Smith hadn't have slapped that one that Chris Rock and then basically got outed as a cuck, he could probably run anywhere as a Republican and win just because people are like, he was the Fresh Prince. Let's do it. Anyway, I don't know. I got off track there. But what I'm saying, yeah, is all these, he's just as bad, and people just vote Republican, Democrat, but they're all doing the same corrupt shit, and they only go after the people who, well, with him it was really blatant, and it was like OnlyFans and stuff like that, but he hasn't been convicted of anything yet. This is all alleged. Like all of this that I've said, all these accusations against him, they're alleged. Okay, that doesn't mean he's going to get found guilty. He probably will, unless like he gets like some of his fucking voters. If I donated to him and I somehow got called onto his trial, goddamn, you bet your ass I would vote not guilty. It doesn't matter what evidence you gave me. George Santos, I stand with George Santos from here until the end of time, okay? And even like, and it's tough because, like the crazies even agree. Like Laura Loomer, who is my favorite, she's my favorite Trump crazy. She's quite the psycho. But she even says, since we're all talking about members of Congress who are participating in insider trading, let's talk about anti-Trump Congressman Dan Crenshaw of Texas. That's not how she talks. She's more shrill and womanly, and it's just like she likes to stand outside with megaphones and harass people. It's kind of funny. She like literally will just like be outside of a fucking church during a fucking funeral, just like, that woman in there is Jenna Ellis is a whore. Like, Jenna Ellis isn't here. Get out. I don't know. But she did that. I don't know if it was a funeral or it was church. I believe she was interrupting church at some point, which is great. But talking about how he bought Meta in October of 2022, and then he's arguing about banning TikTok in the U.S., which they're never going to actually do. They don't have the balls to do that. Lobbyists will keep it out, and even if they ban TikTok, it'll just be language that makes it so it has to have like a 51% American owner, something like that. It's going to be the same shit. It's not going to change anything because government doesn't change anything. They don't do anything. What they do is they steal money and laundry money and screw us over and make laws to restrict our freedom and say, well, it's this is what the founding fathers would have wanted. They would have wanted our rights to be slowly stripped away one by one by Eye Patch Adams and the like. You know what? They would be just as disappointed with fucking Dan Crenshaw as they would be with fucking George Santos. Both of them would be the same, like just what your whole life was to become a fucking politician. And that's not George Santos. George Santos lived a whole life. He was Jewish once. He was an engineer for Tesla probably. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up too. You know, he was a drag queen in Brazil. And he's a beautiful man. If he went start going to the gym, he could get some bitches. He wouldn't need, he could start an OnlyFans. He could start his own OnlyFans. And then it would be like Congressman Santos OnlyFans. And he's just in there, he's juiced up. Obviously, you got to start on testosterone. He started doing testosterone replacement therapy. So he's doing testosterone replacement therapy, lifting weights. He's on OnlyFans. So he takes Viagra and then just bench presses with a fully erect penis on a live stream, and people give him tokens, and it vibrates an egg in his ass that's in his prostate. Because I think he's bisexual. I think he said he was gay, or maybe he's just gayish. Some gay stuff was well, I was on meth in Brazil once, but it happens to everyone. And Yeah, I assume that's I mean would be his next course of action, because he can't become a trad. He can't. I mean, he tried his best. I liked him. Like I said, we got Fetterman. We got a dude with brain damage. And he's in. And then you got Menendez or whatever the fuck his name is, the New Jersey senator I mean, he got raided by the FBI. They found gold bars from Egypt, a bunch of cash, which I get it. Like if I could afford gold bars, I would. I mean, like, you know, yeah, but I can't. I can't. I saw something. Someone was making their own uh, copper bars on, where did I see it, on Twitter probably, or Instagram, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking awesome. Like that's awesome. I would do that. Like if I had access to that much copper, I would definitely trailer park style make big bars of copper, and they'll be worth something one day when the missiles all come crashing down, because Eye Patch Adams needed war more than anything in the world. He just needed to see Iran go down. Well, he made millions of dollars insider trading on Meta and the like. And I don't, but I like George Santos. He's gonna file an ethics report against Congressman Menendez, not to be confused with the senator who I was just talking about, who gold bars. Um, While Congressman Menendez has not been invoked by the diligent investigation of the DOJ into his father, there remains. I don't know what any of this is about, if I'm being honest. I didn't really investigate it. I'm just very upset that George Santos was taken from us in Congress, because I truly, wholeheartedly believe it doesn't matter what he did. Right here, 97 members of Congress reported trades in companies influenced by their committees. 78 members from Business Insider. This is should have been at the top. 78 members of Congress have violated a law designed to prevent insider trading and stop conflicts of interest. So, I mean, this is just like, okay, what are those the ones we know about? So why is Santos worse? Don't get me wrong. I want to see all of them prosecuted for doing this shit. I want it. This is fucking wrong. They shouldn't. They've been robbing us for years, and that's the reason why you're broke. Why inflation's so high? Because they're printing more money and then fucking taking it from you. And they're just literally. It's like the Titanic is sinking, and they're stealing fucking silver from the ship, and they should all be prosecuted and arrested. But that's like some French Revolution style shit would have to happen, because it's everyone in government, and I'm not advocating for that. This is a comedy podcast. We're making light of the corruption and craziness in the world. Crazy. And I'm just saying that if they're all gonna do it, I like a guy who buys some porn. I like a guy who's entertaining. I like a guy who's gonna make me laugh. That's gonna be memeable. That's what I want. If I can't have public trials for every single president, corrupt congressman and senator that's still alive right now, Nuremberg style, like straight Nuremberg style trials, just completely fucking, yeah. But then who takes over? It's all fun. We're at that point. I've been playing a lot of Civilization, and it's really, really, really fucking with me, because I get obsessed with it. I start playing right after work. Next thing I know, it's 11 p.m. I've played for 6 hours. I didn't eat. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But because you're building a civilization, you're trying to have like a culture or science victory, and I always go science, and I always, for some reason, I always lead to war. I need to go bigger, destroy. Like it's like I think it's part of the human thing. You reach a point where you're just stuck. You just have to fucking go to war. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, but basically what I'm saying is civilization is fun and it's stealing my life from me, just like the government is stealing money from me. So what I'm saying, I don't I just don't care about Representative Santos as long as all the other people. Like, he was a clown who was in there for what, 1 year? Nancy Pelosi has served for 50 fucking years, 40 years, whatever she has, stealing, screwing us over every step of the way, and she just gets to walk free. Dianne Feinstein, fucking may she rest in hell. I mean, she sold us down the river. She had all types of ethics bullshit going on, and literally, she was senile at the end. Her daughter had power of attorney, but somehow was still voting. And we're like, no, this is normal. These people are running everything. It's okay. It's insane. It's insane what the people put up with, what we put up with as a people. And storm the Capitol. No, I'm kidding. That's don't do that. They're still going after people for that. They're still going. They went after what's his name? Some guy who he did a movie with the Daily Wire for their Lady Ballers comedy movie. It came out yesterday. I haven't seen it yet, but looks all right. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. We'll see. So my unpopular position with George Santos, who, again, I stand with 100%. Until we start taking out the guys who've been doing it for years, put Santos back in. This is fuck. I hope Trump wins and just. I hope Vivek wins and burns the whole place down. Metaphorically speaking, of course. But another unpopular opinion I have is that chocolate giant Mars is exposed for using cocoa harvested by children as young as 5 with machetes. Again, I'm okay with this. Kids need jobs. Look, 19th century, kids had jobs. We had jobs up until we got to like this like point where where you didn't kids didn't need to have jobs anymore. We could preserve them as children and make sure they lived, and a woman didn't have to have 9 children to make sure at least 4 lived, and hopefully not die, because it gets rough for women. Some can pop out a lot of kids, but you're up to 15, 16 kids. They could die during childbirth, especially back then when there was no fancy medicine like the mRNA vaccine that we have now, or vaccines in general. How great those things have turned out for us. But kids should have jobs. They should be working. Maybe not. I mean, you got to make sure they have good enough hand-eye coordination. If you got a kid who's been doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu from 4 to 5 years old, well, he might be deft enough to use a machete to chop off coca, cocoa. Um, and I mean, you never know. I was shooting a bow at 5, 6 years old, so I don't see a problem with this. It's hard to shoot yourself, but it's easy to shoot someone else, and I didn't do that. And I think I used an axe as young as probably 8. You got to be able to, you got to chop wood. Kids got to have a good foundation of work. If they think life is play, life is nothing but play. If you let kids just play, just let them play. Then when you rip that from them in adulthood and say, now you have to work for 40 hours a week, minimum. So yeah, we told you your whole life was going to be play until suddenly now you have to go to the real world, and all you want is to just, because your whole life you've been conditioned to want to just enjoy things and have fun, and you don't want to put in a hard day's work. If you have a kid swinging a machete at 5 years old, the kid's going to do great things. He's not going to want days off. He's going to be like, Sunday off? Only because God said so. TradCon. Be a TradCon. That's where the money's at now. Maybe not for guys. I think the TradCon guy slots are full, but for chicks, there's always room for TradCon chicks. Doesn't matter how many chicks are at a party. You can always have more chicks. I remember this when I was younger. We were having a party, and it was literally completely full. I mean, it was like a fucking metal concert in the whole thing. Like there was no space at all. And we had to refuse everyone, but even when we were refusing everyone, we were still allowing the chicks to come in. We were allowing only chicks to come in, no more dudes allowed for the rest of the night because you may be full, but you're never full if it's a chick. That's that's the rule with men. The general rule is they'll always allow chicks to join their group. I mean, obviously there's some who don't like that. Me. Get out of my spaces. Get back in the kitchen. Make me a burrito. Listen to what I say and tell me, "Oh my God, you're so smart, sweetie. I wish I could understand all these high-tech things you're talking about." Meanwhile, I'm just talking about fucking how long it took me to actually set up my soundboard for this shit. Uh, because I'm a retard. Bring back retard. But yeah, they should work. Um, A CBS report found children working on farms across Ghana's cocoa belt. I don't wonder where Ghana is. Is that Africa? Probably Africa. That supply the candy to the that supply to the candy giant Mars. They found so it's not like Mars is hiring children. They just happen to buy chocolate that was harvested by children. What if those children don't have parents because they died fighting some weird like territorial war that goes on in those areas, or from American military bringing some freedom, aka drone strikes to the area. You never know. I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing in Ghana. Chances are, if Mars is there, I don't know how big Mars is, if they have that much pull over the government where it's like, don't drop bombs on our damn cocoa belt. I mean, because, like, where's the report about how 5-year-olds are mining the cobalt that goes into our phones? I mean, it's all insanity. It's not good working conditions for sure. But it's funny. As soon as we get to the point where we have good working conditions, suddenly you take kids out of the workplace. Like shit used to be super dangerous, and we had kids climbing behind moving parts because they were small enough. Oh, don't get sucked in there, Jimmy. Like kids get mangled every day, and then as soon as we make this workplace safe and have rules and regulations, we're like, no kids allowed. And it's like, what? Put them to work. I say put the kids to work. You put a shovel in their hand and let them put a broom in their hand. Have them sweep. Watch out for forklifts, kiddo. You're doing great. I'm just saying. Uh, but not in the mind. But children yearn for the mines. That's why Minecraft is so popular. I know that's a meme. Like children yearn for the mines. Look, the kids love Minecraft. It's because they're all autistic because they're taking 76 vaccines, and living in a technology world. We're basically living in a simulation. I've said this before. We're definitely in a simulation. We're moving more and more into a simulation. We're slowly conditioning ourselves to it. And hey, whatever. I've always been the last to adopt. I didn't get a smartphone until I got everything late. I got MySpace when Facebook came out. I got Facebook when Instagram came out. And I got Instagram when TikTok came out. That's how I fucking roll. And I got a smartphone, my first smartphone, in like 2015. Because why do I just need a flip phone. I got a computer. I just need a flip phone. Um, Mars, the maker of some of America's most beloved candies, has been exposed for using child labor to harvest cocoa beans in Ghana, a new bombshell report found. CBS News visited Ghana's remote cocoa belt and found children as young as 5 working on farms that supply the chocolate giant, despite the company's pledge to protect children. Well, at least no one's fucking those children. That would be worse if they were doing child labor and then at the end of the day they had to get fucked by an older man. That would be a problem. If that comes out too, I'm definitely against that. I'm against that part of it. The work, though, it's good. Shocking footage shows small children carrying machetes into the fields, with one nearly taking his fingers off as he hacked open a cocoa pod. How do you know he, like, nearly? That's subjective. Look, see? What this is just me in the woods with my friends as a kid. We would take an axe from the family tool shed, You take an axe from the family tool shed and you go out and chop down a tree just for fun. Because children yearn work. They have so much pent up energy. They're growing. They got all this hormones and stuff, and they need to get out and do stuff like harvest cocoa for fat white liberals M&Ms. How else are you going to have your healthy trail mix? Um, I am a child. I play. I go to school. It's like, here's the playing, the school. Oh, Jesus. Field supervisors contracted by Mars gave children backpacks and school books with one phrase, I'm a child. I play. I go to school. Marina 15 is one of those children listed in the school but still working in the cocoa fields. Well, you get a good education and you learn work ethic. She's going to be a hard worker her whole life. When she finally is a refugee in America after we continue further south in our bombing campaign of Africa, um, and then and they're a refugee who comes over here, they're going to be one of the best workers at the warehouse where they don't speak English. But they're going to be the hardest worker. They're going to do everything wrong, but god damn it, are they going to do it quicker than everyone else? I mean, but that's America's workforce anyway. Marina's going to be she's going to be a great refugee one day. She said last year that she was visited by field supervisors contracted by Mars who gave her a backpack in schools with the phrase, she said, I feel sad. I want to be like a medical doctor, but my family doesn't have money for school. See, hard worker. Doctors have like some of the most strenuous hours ever. She already wants to be a doctor. Probably not though. I mean, she has no understanding. She probably thinks that fucking the sun is the god. I'm fucked up. That's fucked up of me. But you can't have that. I feel sad. I want to be like a medical doctor, but my family doesn't have money for school. Put that on the backpack. That's what they're holding while they're chopping down cocoa. She said last year, at least they're not harvesting cocaine. I mean, it's not some Colombian kid who's just fucking like neck deep in the vat of gasoline and fucking cocoa leaves, stepping on them to get all the cocoa out. The reporter spoke with other children named on the list, and all said they do not attend the school and that no one has come to check if they do. CBS News found in some cases names on the list were made up. They visited one farm where a child was listed as the farmer's daughter but does not exist. So the daughter doesn't exist or the child doesn't, because that one could be getting fucked by an Epstein type. Even children who do not attend classes carry machetes with them to go work in the fields before and after school. Well, at least it's only before and after school. They got that time in the middle to do kid stuff. Oh, they need to play. Oh, the kids need to play. Let them play with a machete. That's what I say. Clean your room. Clean your bloody room. Clean your bloody forest of cocoa. Clean the bloody forest of cocoa so the fat liberals will have their chocolate. My Jordan Peterson impression. According to its Protecting Children Action Plan, Mars said it supports providing farmers with livable wages. Mars supports the living income differential of a $400 per metric ton announced by government of Cote d'Ivoire. Jesus Christ. Some goddamn foreign bullshit. And Ghana in July 2019 to ensure that farmers receive a higher income. $400 per metric ton seems pretty cheap. If it was in America, it'd probably be $4,000 a metric ton, let's be honest. It's $400, which is also 400,000 Ghanaian dollars. That's not in the article. I'm just saying that. The government also indicated that from the 2020-21 main crops, 70% of the 2,600 per metric ton minimum price will be paid to farmers for their cocoa. So they're doing all right. I misspoke. This guy looks like he fucks kids. He looks like he's also fucking the kids. That's the problem with schools. The only people who want to work in schools are like women who shouldn't teach. Every TradCon influencer should know this. Remember that if you're trying to be a TradCon influencer, you have to be against women even teaching, because they do a bad job of it, and they spew off about feelings and how, oh, this was wrong, and a miscarriage of justice and human rights violations against Native Americans. No, no, no. Tell us how awesome General Custer was up until the moment that he died. Or Colonel Mustard, Colonel Custard, Lieutenant Colonel the the dude who got killed by all those Indians, natives in Montana. The Last Stand, whatever. I don't know. But I don't remember where I was going with this. Oh, I smoked a lot of pot before this. So the company led by CEO Paul Weinhardt, pictured. Oh, I was calling Paul Weirrush a pedophile. Is what I was doing. I was saying that he looked like a pedophile. This is a comedy podcast. I'm joking, but look at him. He looks like the dude from God, what's the movie? The Vietnam movie where it's Private Pile, but whatever. My memory's failing right now. I need to drink more Jocko Go. Jocko Go. It's got nootropics and electrolytes. It's good for you. Good way to balance the years of heroin and meth use. Once you get sober, start getting healthy. So now you can pretend like you weren't a dirty bum once. That's what I do. And look, when I was a dirty bum, I would have been happy to get $400 a metric ton for, I don't know what I'm saying. Our cocoa suppliers in Ghana have agreed to adhere to our robust supplier code and conduct. It's all a bunch of legal SA bullshit, and it doesn't say anything about, oh, they must have the child labor and remediation system. I don't understand why kids can't work. That's my biggest comment below. You tell me why kids shouldn't work. Why kids who yearn for work in the mines shouldn't be. I mean, look at how even my generation turns out. Lazy, entitled. They're the worst of the worst. It's because they never put in a hard day's work. We don't want kids to turn out that way. And before, what was the big thing? Why what was success? It was hard work. Where do you instill the most in a child? When are they at their most their mind's a sponge? When they're a child, 2 years old. As soon as the kid can walk, why isn't he helping you rake leaves in the yard? Why not? You're out there. The wife's at home. Why isn't she putting him to work? Why isn't he taking the trash out to the dumpster? He can at least put it next to the dumpster so his dad can put it in afterward. Just maybe not. He'd drag it and it'd rip open. It would attract raccoons and stuff depending on where you live. I don't know if there's any raccoons out here in Arizona. Can't remember seeing any in Phoenix since I got here. In the last 3 years, I haven't seen any. But hey, um, uh, let kids work. That's what I say. Yeah. So that's all. I'm fizzled out. I got to go to a family thing. Short episode. Hopefully back with the boys next weekend. Follow me, Tyrant House Co. everywhere. If you made it through this whole thing, by God, please like it, comment, share, tell your friends, family, loved ones. To stand with George Santos and vote for Vivek Ramaswamy. Tyrant House Co. Follow everywhere. Let the tyrants rule. Expelled Representative George Santos goes back into drag tonight at 5.